There was a girl who thought she was searching for love, but really, she was searching for peace. She didn't have the words for it back then. She just knew that something deep inside her was always longing. Longing to feel safe. Longing to be chosen. Longing to be held without having to beg. She was also searching for her father. Not for a man to replace him, but for the feeling she never received. The protection. The reassurance. The steady voice that says, "You matter." She just wanted someone to say, "I've got you." So she confused attention with affection. She confused endurance with love. She confused silence with loyalty. She thought if she stayed long enough, loved hard enough, gave enough of herself, then love would finally stay. But love did not love her back. She grew up watching women carry everything. African women, Black women, women who were strong because they had no other choice. Women who were told not to complain, to endure, to survive. Her father was absent. Maybe he was physically gone, maybe just emotionally. Maybe he was present, but completely unreachable. So she learned early to earn love instead of just expect it. She learned that men come and go, and women must adjust. No one ever taught her that love was supposed to feel like warmth, like home. Without even realizing it, she started looking for her father in the men she dated. She searched for approval, for guidance, for reassurance. She wanted someone to understand her without explanation, someone to stay without conditions. She overgave because she desperately wanted to be chosen. She stayed because abandonment felt familiar. She accepted emotional distance because it mirrored her past. When men pulled away, it reopened the exact same wound. She would ask herself, "Am I not enough?" Instead of asking for what she needed, she made herself smaller, quieter, more convenient. She trusted someone who enjoyed being needed but never learned how to actually nurture. She loved someone who took her loyalty for granted. And when the relationship ended or just slowly faded away, the pain was so much deeper than heartbreak. It felt like being left all over again, not just by a man, but by the little girl inside her who hoped that this time, love would finally stay. It hurt deeply. After that, she changed. She stopped trusting so easily, not because she was bitter, but because she was just tired of bleeding. She questioned men's intentions. She questioned her own discernment. She wondered if love would always feel like loss. So, she built walls. The world called her guarded. They called her too strong. They said she was hard to love. But they never asked what made her this way. They never asked how much she lost before she learned to protect herself. To the Black woman who searched for her father in men. To the African woman who carried family, culture, and silence on her back. Your longing was not weakness. It was not your fault. You were not asking for too much. You were just asking for what you missed. Your heart was not broken. It was wounded. And wounds deserve healing, not judgment. One day, she stopped blaming herself. She realized that healing meant no longer asking her partners to fix childhood gaps. She learned to mother herself, to protect herself, to choose men who show up, not men she had to chase. She learned that love should not feel like suffering. Love should feel like peace. And slowly, love stopped feeling like begging. It began to feel like rest. And then, she met God as Father, the one who does not abandon, the one who does not withhold affection, the one who says, "My child, come." In him, she learned that love does not have to be earned, that she is chosen without performance, that she is covered without condition. God became the father her heart had been crying out for, not replacing earthly fathers but healing what was missing. He taught her that her worth was never tied to a man's ability to love her, and in his presence, the wound began to close. Because God's love does not leave, it does not disappear, it does not grow tired, it stays. So if this story feels like yours, know this: you are not alone. You are not difficult. You are deeply loved. You are worthy. Share this with a sister who needs to hear it. Leave a comment if your heart needs to speak, or just sit quietly and breathe. Healing isn't always loud, but it is always powerful. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories. Do you ever feel like you're dating the same person over and over again, just in a different body? For years, I did. I was drawn to a certain type of man, usually older, emotionally distant, and someone I felt I had to constantly prove my worth to. It was a frustrating, exhausting cycle, and I couldn't understand why I kept repeating it. It wasn't until I started digging deep into my own past that the answer became painfully clear. I was looking for my father in every man I dated. My dad was a great guy in many ways, but he was often absent, both physically and emotionally. He worked long hours, and when he was home, he was tired and reserved. I craved his approval, his attention, his validation. I wanted him to see me, to be proud of me, to tell me I was enough. But those moments were rare. So, without even realizing it, I carried that unfulfilled need, that deep-seated longing, right into my romantic relationships as an adult. I found myself attracted to partners who mirrored his unavailability. They were busy, preoccupied, or just not great at expressing their feelings. And just like with my dad, I'd go into overdrive trying to win their affection. I'd become the perfect girlfriend, the low-maintenance partner, the one who always understood when they canceled plans or forgot important dates. I thought that if I could just be good enough, patient enough, or loving enough, they would finally give me the love and attention I so desperately wanted. In essence, I was trying to heal a childhood wound through my adult relationships. I was trying to get a different outcome from the same old story. The problem is, this never works. You can't fix the past by reenacting it in the present. My partners weren't my father, and it was unfair to them and to myself to put them in that role. They couldn't heal my childhood wounds because they weren't the ones who caused them. All this did was create a dynamic of anxiety, insecurity, and constant striving on my part, and likely confusion and pressure on theirs. It was a recipe for heartbreak, and I followed it every single time. The real turning point for me was when I finally acknowledged this pattern. I had to look inward instead of outward. I started asking myself some tough questions. What was I really seeking from these men? What was the feeling I was chasing? And I realized it wasn't just love. It was validation. It was the approval I never felt I fully got from my father. Recognizing this was like a light bulb turning on. It was the first step toward breaking the cycle. Healing wasn't about blaming my dad or my exes. It was about taking responsibility for my own happiness and learning to give myself what I had been seeking from others. I had to learn to be my own source of validation. I started celebrating my own achievements, big and small. I practiced self-compassion, reminding myself that I am worthy of love and attention just as I am, not because of what I do for someone else. It meant learning to sit with my own feelings of loneliness or insecurity instead of immediately reaching for a relationship to fill the void. This journey of self-parenting, of giving myself that paternal love I missed, has been the most transformative work of my life. I've learned to set boundaries, to walk away from relationships that feel like a constant uphill battle, and to choose partners who are emotionally available and ready to meet me where I am. I'm no longer looking for a father figure. I'm looking for a partner, an equal, and that has made all the difference. If any of this resonates with you, please know you're not alone. So many of us are subconsciously playing out old family dynamics in our love lives. The first step is awareness. Notice the patterns. Ask yourself the hard questions. And most importantly, be gentle with yourself as you begin to heal. You deserve a love that feels safe, secure, and equal, not one you have to constantly earn. Thank you so much for watching. If this video helped you, please give it a like and subscribe for more content on healing and creating healthier relationships. See you in the next one.